Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. It's me. It's that good old Mike B. Right here at the Turnbuckle Tavern for the so sweet. There we go. All elite wrap up. And joining me, it's been a long time since we had you right here. My Shot of Nostalgia co-host with the most. I mean, he is the host of Shot of Nostalgia with the most. He's my guy, my number one ride or die, Ace.
Live from No Sale.
There you go.
Studios, the Ace Tavern, Ace Field Retro. And it is so good to be back here on the wrap-up show. I figured Mike was solo dolo. I get the hot tag in. Here I am. We got some changes coming up to the AW coverage. Of course, we got 2 more hours of coverage. I can't wait to break all of it down with you. We had a great night for the Go Home Forbidden Door. Can't wait for Sunday. A lot of good things on the wrestling docket for us.
Yes, sir. I don't want to be like super right into it, but like let's do the reverse end of it. Plug your shit before we get into it because we got a lot to get into. I want our fans, our friends, our viewers, our loves. Tyson Austin, Don the Bond Smith had a really shitty take about Nick Wayne, and I want to go over that with you as well.
Oh, where on Signite?
On Twitter. This was a big deal. But first, Ace, tell the people where they could find you. Tell the people what you're doing. Tell the people about Remarkable, all that good shit before we get into all the deep dives, my friend.
All right, where to start? So follow me at Eastfield Retro. Monday's Wrestling Tonight. You can also find me here. Thursday's Brace for Impact. I'll be doing that with Colton. We're rebranding the ROH show, so that will be the first show tomorrow. Fridays, of course, Shot of Nostalgia. Season 3 is coming to an end here. As we say goodbye to WWF 1998, we go to season 4, which is Smoky Mountain Wrestling 1994. Just finished recording earlier today a Visit the Tavern with the Bass King, Liam Jacobs from Remarkable Wrestling. So that's going to drop Friday. Audio is on my Acefield Retro page right now. It's also on the Turnbuckle Tavern page next Wednesday. And also go to remarkablewrestling.com, pick up your tickets to Spaces the Place, July 8th, Deer Park, New York, headlined by Gabriel Sky. And Desmond Cole for the title. So a lot of good stuff going on.
God damn it. It sounds like a very impactful moment. Not no pun intended, brother. But yes, the Ring of Honor show is taking a nap, going to sleep for a little bit. But we also have the Impact
talk
show.
About ROH. It's not like it's going away completely. We're going to cover most of it on ROH section of our Wrestling Tonight during pay-per-view previews. We'll bring on Colton. So the thing is with that, like there's been a lot of clamoring for an Impact show, and I think Impact's doing a really good job of putting on a consistent product. They deserve to be covered. We are the de facto source of all things professional wrestling. How are we not covering Impact on a weekly basis?
Absolutely, and I could not agree more. I mean, Impact they've been so consistent, so strong for the last few months here. I mean, it's been a completely different program than it even was in like 2006. It's huge, and they're doing good things, and they're very, very consistent booking. So I'm fucking here for it. I can't wait to see what you and Colton do for the Impact show here on the Turnbuckle Tavern, as you guys know.
And shout out to Chad. I mean, we had that idea this weekend. Everything came around. He did the overlays, he did the intros, he did all the graphics, the logo. Of course, I made like the graphic for the episode, but as far as getting things ready, the dude expedited. The Tavern wouldn't be able to do what it does without behind the scenes stuff that goes in. Like, so shout out to Sneed for editing audio, and Chad, everything he does with the overlays and the graphics set us apart from other channels. And I think, that needs to be recognized. I mean, Chad literally pumped this stuff out almost immediately, and it's top notch. So shout out to the Tavern Daddies here. It was Father's Day weekend, so got to respect our Tavern Daddies.
100%, man. I love it. Absolutely love it. And the Two Bad Chads, obviously all the Instagram hearts for them. But look, guys, listen, it's showtime, folks. Let's get into the fun right here at the wrap up, because you guys know what's up. I want to go right into a little bit of collision. We got the Broadcast podcast. Nothing rolls off the tongue easier than that. Good evening, gentlemen, over on your end as well. But Ace, I know you were watching on Saturday. I know I was watching. We were all part of the big. I wasn't there in person, obviously, but I mean, we had the return of CM Punk on AEW television. AEW Collision running hot with a really good kickoff, really good program this Saturday. I don't know how you felt about it. I'm here to pick your brain, but I'm just going to say right now, I enjoyed the shit out of it. I thought it was amazing. I mean, we had Punk, FTR, rocking and rolling against Jay White, Samoa Joe, and Juice Robinson. It was a hell of a main event, hell of a program. Punk came out hot with a hell of a promo. Yeah, give me your thoughts, your love, your hate, whatever you feel, dude. I want to feel what Steven Retro feels, brother.
So I mean, I gave most of my thoughts on wrestling tonight. You guys can catch that Monday night on YouTube, and then Tuesday the auto drop. But for the most part, I was impressed with the production. That was the main thing. I thought they separated themselves enough from Dynamite to make it feel like a separate entity, and it felt equally as important, which I thought was very an important piece of establishing it from the jump, because you want to do everything to make people have to tune in to Collision on Saturday night. It's a tough spot to be in, to be on a Saturday night, especially as the fall comes in with college football. You're going to be going head to head with UFC a lot, but for the most part, it felt just as important, if not more important than Dynamite at this point. I thought the presentation was great. I mean, you go out of your way to buy Elton John as your theme song. You go out of your way to pay CM Punk a lot of money to come out here. You put differences aside, get him in the ring. Thought the promo was well done. I just hope that we're going to get more meaningful story as time goes on, but it's 2 hours of more meaningful program on AEW television, and just shows how healthy and how much the wrestling world is thriving at this point, and AEW is prospering for that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely gonna be checking it out. Maybe not live every Saturday, but I will be watching all full, 2 hours, whether it's the next day or later in the night. So I think I was very impressed. I really was.
100%, man. And that's the thing we talk about on Shadow Nostalgia, is like the growth of wrestling. You guys got to tune in every Friday night, 7 p.m. wherever you are, maybe 6 p.m. if you're on a different fucking time zone, but it doesn't matter. But what I will tell you, Shadow Nostalgia, we go over this in depth, how important time zones is, the content of wrestling in general. I mean, we got so much room for growth here. And I mean, since we're studying WWF 1998, obviously this year or this season, but we're going on the biggest boom period since then. Right now with pro wrestling, I mean, AEW has 2 shows, 3 shows, 4 shows. I mean, fucking you name Ring of Honor it, like they're booming right now, right? WWE obviously doing the same. How do you feel as a wrestling fan being in this big movement again? Like, I mean, we talked about it Friday a little bit more, how none of the big shit matters. Like, you could do a main event that's a buried alive match. Does it really matter? No, you're already getting the eyes and the viewers on your shit. The concourse is huge, man. So I want to know how your feelings are on the growth of wrestling in 2023 compared to 1998, buddy.
Well, wrestling's in like the healthiest spot it's ever been at this point. I think it's evident to see WBD with the new deal coming around for AEW and what that's potentially rumored to be offered, and not to mention everything going on WWE side. Everything's thriving, and at this point too, you got to look at the ratings. We just got them in for the debut episode on Saturday. It did do better, both in the 18 to 49 demo for Saturday night, better than Dynamite. Total viewership was a little bit higher than Dynamite. It was comparable. It wasn't as big as the number that they did on the initial First Dance, but it still was very impressive that they were able to top it. And we'll see if they can keep it up. And they had some tough competition on Saturday because they're the UFC fight card, which was not a pay-per-view, but they had a Saturday, whatever. I don't follow UFC that like they had some programming going on, and the College World Series was there. There was a baseball game on Saturday night on ESPN as well. So it's going to be tough competition, but I don't think that's the main objective of them. I don't think they're going to be looking at the competition on the other side. They're going to take their lumps as far as they know that certain things are going to take precedent on Saturday night. I think what they want to do is to feature their talent in meaningful spots. And I think that's what Collision has shown. We saw prominently guys that we haven't seen on TV, whether it be Miro, Andrade, Buddy Matthews had a singles match for the first time in how long?
Yeah.
And showed out. Of course, you got Punk. FTR was featured in a big way. I think having another 2 hours for prominent television, your roster is so expanded and so bloated at some point where a lot of talent will be highlighted in a very good way. So that's the main thing I pull away from this. It's not about the ratings. It's not about how many people are watching. As long as it's consistent with close to Dynamite, it may dip below Dynamite because of the time slot. As long as they're featuring programming and furthering stories for a lot of the guys that were sitting on the bench for 4 to 5 weeks in between, how can you ask for anything better? It's good for wrestling fans.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like you so beautifully said, it's not about the ratings, it's not about anything else. It's about the showcase of talent, and AEW has been kind of bloated with talent, right? Like they hit so many good names, such as Miro, such as, I mean, you go all across the whole roster. I mean, Ricky Starks, John Silver, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter who the name is, but we did need a huge showing of these talents. I mean, you can't do it all in 2 hours on Dynamite. Nobody's watching Rampage. It's not their fault. It's just it feels unimportant. You know, it's been going on for so long, and I feel like this is a good breath of fresh air to those talents. I mean, we got Andrade, I mean, Samoa Joe on a main event. When was the last time we seen that? You know what I mean? Like, it was a big deal. Even Luchasaurus winning the TNT title, maybe I'll be against it, whatever the case is, but he did it on live television. I thought it was really well put together. The pacing was done well. I thought giving Punk the moment in the beginning and then going into the main event built up the main event for people to stick in and tune in. I was here for it. I loved it. And it also bled into tonight's Dynamite a little bit. So I really enjoyed the whole fucking momentum of everything. I really think Collision's going to be its own little bubble doing its own thing. And I feel like Dynamite's going to be there too. Rampage is going to feel like Sunday Night Heat did in 1999, maybe
Right.
2000, right? So, but very good shit all across the board. I enjoyed the Collision card. I know we didn't really talk about it too much here in the AEW landscape yet because tomorrow's the flagship dropping, and of course the Two Bad Chads are going to go over it, but I felt like we had to get our little voice out here about what we felt with the Punk return and everything. I'm here for it. A dude draws eyes, dude draws views, and he's well spoken. How do you feel about him being one Bill Phil in the world of counterfeit bucks?
I've been very critical of Mr. Phil Brooks for quite some time, to the point where I got blocked on Instagram from him, but I've always said I think he belongs back on the AEW roster as long as it's going to be beneficial for everybody involved. And it seems at this point, obviously drew ratings and had people watching, had eyes on the product. And if there's talent he's going to be working with, they're going to be better for it. So it's all good stuff. I mean, he, at the end of the day, de facto biggest draw in the company. There's no disputing that. You look at the numbers, you look at the metrics, however you want to slice it. He's the guy that people are tuning in, maybe even hate watching at that point, but sometimes that's what it takes. And AEW is so desperate for a transcendent star. That's the main thing. We have stars that are big stars in wrestling.
Dude, who isn't though? I mean, even WWE is still like, they got Logan Paul, they got Bad Bunny, but there's no transcendent guy that's at the top of both.
Yeah, I think Roman's approaching that, but again, we're so in our bubble of professional wrestling. It's hard to see who speaks volumes to people that don't watch wrestling. So it's always interesting to talk to, I don't know, like my parents who don't watch wrestling, but they're even more in the know than they should be because they're around me all the time. But talking to someone who used to be a fan, like obviously you tell someone Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, they know those names. Who is going to be that guy in the future? I think Roman's approaching that, but you're right. Transcendent stars are hard to come by. In the Attitude Era, we had 4 or 5 of them just floating around the roster. We were just lucky, but you really can't find those people to make it. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to make them care about it. And they have them in-house here in AEW. You have to find a way to feature CM Punk in a strategic way because he, again, is your biggest draw. And that's what it's about at this point, to bring eyes to the product.
Yeah, and I really appreciate Tony Khan's speaking out about everything as of late. Like, he's like, Punk's great. We have some of the best heels in AEW. We have some of the best faces, which makes for great television. I think he knows what he's doing as a booker overall. And yeah, it's cool to see how it's all vibing together. Like, I love Eddie Kingston. I don't give a fuck who I'm fighting. You know, whatever the booker pays me, I'm showing up. I don't give a fuck. Like, that shit, I love it, man.
The other thing I wanted to say too about just Collision and Dynamite, even in our little tavern circle, we're seeing some ingrained competition where the initial brand split that happened all the way in 2002 with Raw and SmackDown, it was to replicate competition. And I think competition is good, whether it's internal or external. You're having AEW, Dynamite, and Collision, both production teams, both rosters, if they're going to be kind of not exclusive, but at least kind of mostly on one show, they're competing against each other, and competition breeds success. And you're going to get people to work harder to have bragging rights, whatever it may be. It's going to make each TV show better. And I think there's going to be something to be said about what's the better show inside of AEW. We're not comparing Raw and Dynamite. We're going to be pairing Dynamite and Collision. What was the better show on a week to week? And that conversation is what you should be having. They're both very good. it's a good conversation to have. And I think if, the Saturday crew is looking at Wednesday and saying 100%, we want to be better, and being better is good for everybody.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I don't really feel an initial brand split quite yet. I mean, the Bucks' promo was really well done on being taped. I feel like there's gonna be a day, and rather sooner than later, when they're all in the same show together, and it's not gonna be as much as bad blood. I mean, even the Bucks did that counterfeit Bucks tweet where they're like, "Oh, if this was 2018, we'd have our counterfeit Buck shirt out." Like, I feel like they're kind of playing in the same ball field, even though that there's that tension there. You know what I mean? I don't see a really big brand split happening. I feel like there's just gonna be more people prominently shown on each show, respectively, and not so much brand split, but like, yeah, Miro could fucking run Saturday all night long. He doesn't need to do Wednesday, and I'm here for all that, man.
No, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be this hard brand split where nobody can show on each side. And it's going to be one of those things where mostly some stories going to live on Saturday, some are going to be on Wednesday, and there could be some crossover. And we saw it tonight. We saw some faces that we saw on both nights. But I think there's going to be competition because the production teams are going to be exclusive. The competition may not even be just the talent. It might be people that are behind the scenes and people that are in charge of graphics and people that everybody is going to be challenging each other to be better because they want to have. There's a word better than bragging rights. I just don't have it right now. If they want to have the ability to say our show is better than yours, instead of comparing out of house and saying we want to be better than WWE, it's hard to compare apples and oranges. It's hard to compete with WWE. You're on two different nights. Mondays and Wednesdays are different. But AEW in-house, you can compare the products because it is 2 hours versus 2 hours. It's AEW versus AEW. And that's a good thing. And it's not, I don't think they benefit from having a roster split that's very strict. You want to make sure people can float between. And the ideal part is, as you mentioned, having the Elite and CM Punk and FTR get together and work a program. That is what it should be. It doesn't seem like that's happening anytime soon. They're dropping hints. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But the fact that the Elite weren't in Chicago, that's a sign to me that they're not ready to be there. And that might be Tony Khan's decision. Who knows? I don't know exactly what goes on behind the scenes in that way, but it seems like they're going to be keeping them separate. I think that's going to be the case for a little bit here. Maybe they wait for things to get acclimated and things settle in, and hopefully things can be copacetic, because I'm so sick of the drama behind the scenes. I liked what we saw on screen tonight. That's the best part. We were building towards Forbidden Door. And we don't want to bury the lead here and talk about the Okada and Danielson thing yet.
I mean,
that moment was transcending.
We're here for that. Screen. Yeah, absolutely. So but I do want to say, I feel like Meltzer is kind of falling on the line of just reading into whatever the fuck he's getting fed here, and like it's not his fault. I think wrestling itself, AEW is doing the biggest work of works, working in the dirt sheets, working everybody, because I mean, the ESPN article was not that bad. Nothing about the Punk article was bad. I mean, sure, he could.
I thought it was heavily edited, though. Like, not that he said anything
absolutely,
bad. But it clearly was like he continued and then they cut it off. But it's a good thing. We don't want any more of this bullshit on the outside. I just like everyone getting the ring programs.
I feel like that was done purposely, not just because it was an editorial decision on the person who's part of the article. I think there's some good shit going on, and you know what? Kayfabe me all fucking day long. I want that. I want to be the guy that doesn't know what's going on. I want to see all the fucking fun happen, and I think we're getting there. If you don't think that CM Punk versus Hangman's coming in the future within the next 2 to 3 years, I guarantee it's going to happen.
I mean, wrestling shows us it can happen and will happen, but I cannot. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I hope you're right, dude. I really hope you're right.
Listen, if even we've seen Goldberg and Undertaker wrestle, right? Like the two guys that should never be in the ring together, and Goldberg almost killed Undertaker. Like we could see CM Punk and Hangman again. I think it'll happen.
I hope you're right. I just don't know if we see that. I don't know.
Punk explaining the slap in the face. I've seen a video of it after the Twitter where he chopped him in the face. It was brutal. It was great. I loved it. But I know Punk cannot be that big of a bitch to sit there and go, he slapped me in the fucking face. I'm mad at him. There's got to be some bullshit going on. But hey, let's kind of go. Let's transition from Punk ESPN Punk Collision to Punk Dynamite for the first time in over 300 days. How crazy is that? We had Jeff Hardy and the Guns wrestle, or the Hardys and the Guns wrestle each other, and then we went afterwards. we got some fucking WCW themed chaos going on, but it was good. I liked it. Yeah, we had Punk out there, we had FTR out there, we had Eddie Kingston coming out. We had a shitload going, but here for it. Like I thought this was fun. I like Punk's little nod, like I'm a Collision guy. I'm not even supposed to be here today. And like throwback to Clerks, good shit. Jeff Hardy doing his best performance since he's returned to AEW. I love the Hardys tonight. Love the Guns. I'm glad the Guns got the win. I thought that was cool. Nice little pushover for them. They needed it. They haven't won in fucking forever. So pumped for that. It was good. But we had the Bullet Club. Calling out shit, man. What thoughts on the? What do you overall tonight? Put the whole show together. A go home for Forbidden Door. What do you feel about it? Because I didn't feel that excited. I'm excited for Bryan Danielson and Okada. I'm excited for Ishii to be part of everything with Eddie Kingston. I'm not like sold on spending $70 on a pay-per-view this month. Like
I was already sold. I was already sold with Ospreay, Omega, and Danielson Okada. Like everything else was cherry on top of the sundae for me.
I will rephrase that as a casual fan.
Oh yeah,
I'm not. So the wife has no fucking clue what's going on this week, and she's like, "Who's this? Who's that?"
I'm awaiting that for Hawk too. On
yeah,
he's not gonna know anybody's name, but I think they
understand, like, fucking pussy. Like what are we doing?
I just think that they probably realized, and Tony Khan and the whole crew probably realized that Forbidden Door is going to be for the diehards, and the diehards are going to buy it. And like, it's not really. It's hard to do a crash course in figuring out who all these New Japan Pro Wrestling stars are. You can do a video package. You can show them on your screen. You can feature them in matches. But the fans that are going to enjoy this show, it's a very niche type of fandom where you're diehard, and it's gonna be the best card possible for that type of fan. But it's never going to draw in the general vicinity of a casual fan. So going back to the Guns and the Hardys, I thought this was a good opening match, as you mentioned. On the other side of things, where we're talking about Collision featuring guys, but this is going to be the same to be said about Dynamite. We're going to see guys that we haven't seen on Dynamite in a while, and the Guns are pointing case
in the best way possible. Absolutely.
So good to see them back here, following losing the tag titles. I think this is probably the first time since they've lost the tag titles we've seen them. I don't know that to be the case, but the Guns and joining the Bullet Club, that is something that is a story that's being threaded here as well. I don't know if it's official at this point. They didn't give them the t-shirt, but I'd imagine that Bullet Club Gold has gained 2 more members. But as far as the other stuff going on after the match, a lot of fun things. Like I like the chaos to open the show and building out some different programs. Hardy's being used as enhancement talent, which is not enhancement, but by featuring, this is kind of the role they should have. And they're learning from the mistakes of WCW and also TNA back in the day, where these nostalgia acts are being used in the right way possible to elevate another team. I thought it was a really good match. It was the same combination aside from, Double or Nothing. We had the 6-man, but I thought this tag match was better than the 6-man. We had a Double or Nothing with obviously their third partners on each side. So the crowd was hot. That added to it. The Chicago crowd was ready for some wrestling, and this match was a good opener.
Yeah. And what I was surprised about the most was that Chicago still had energy for Dynamite this week after the Collision they had, which is awesome. I mean, Wintrust is a smaller arena, but damn, they brought it tonight no matter what. And we're going to go right into it. Jeff Jarrett, Mark Briscoe, concession stand brawl, man. Huge fucking match. I thought it was fun. I thought it was very Attitude Era reminiscent. I thought it was interesting. I really enjoyed the shit out of these two getting along. I mean, we had Karen Jarrett coming in, we had Sanjay Dutt coming in, but we also had Papa Briscoe coming through. So good, man. So good.
So this was talked about on Wrestling Observer Radio, and they were talking about this, the concession stand brawl, just is the history of hardcore wrestling. A lot of this style of wrestling came from that first match with Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, Larry Latham, Wayne Ferris. This was the history of wrestling is steeped in a match like this. As ridiculous as it wasn't just a one-off, let's pour mustard on each other. It was a nod and a love letter to that match that happened all these years back. So I did appreciate it. It's, Jeff Jarrett's way of paying homage to his history and understanding the importance of it. And it was fun. I mean, you got the involvement of Karen Jarrett. Sanjay Dutt was ridiculous in this match. which was awesome. And I thought Satnam Singh looked pretty damn good. I think every week we see Satnam come in, he looks phenomenal for the role they're using him. It's not overexposed. They're not trying to put him. They're not trying to put him in a spot where anytime he's in the ring, they're emphasizing his strengths, not his weaknesses. And that's so easy to say like out loud, but you watch Giants be built, especially in the last 10 years. They're so quick to throw him in a title picture or throw him in a spot where they get exposed. And Satnam's been built perfectly because originally we saw him like, oh, another guy who can't really move around. He's shockingly athletic for a guy his size.
Absolutely. I love the super kick spot with him. I thought it was just super fun. Like I thought there was a lot of good content involved in this match that was like, oh shit. I mean, Jeff Jarrett even looked better with mustard staining that beautiful blonde locks that was going on. It looked more Simpson-esque. He was rocking and rolling, but I thought it was really well played. I liked them bringing it back to the ring. I thought the spots were really done well. The participation from the Lucha Brothers to the Best Friends, super good shit, man. Loved every little minute of it, and I love Mark Briscoe getting it in.
Did you take this as Jeff Jarrett's farewell as the active roster? That's what it kind of looked like as they were all kind of getting their shit in, and Penta hit him with the super kick, and then Briscoe hit him with the schoolboy. It seemed like Jarrett's going away from the active roster for a bit. That's the way I took it.
Only me and you could hope so, because we're sick of Jarrett in 1998.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've been very hard on Jeff Jarrett. I have to say the way they've been utilizing him, and this faction without a name so far, with Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt, that whole crew, I kind of enjoy them, and I hate to say it because I'm some pro on it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, listen, we could talk shit about Jeff Jarrett all day long. He probably does deserve a little bit of it, but not all of it. I love Jeff Jarrett's heel work. I think he's great at what he does, especially here at AEW. TNA did a great job. WWF, not so much. We've been there and done that. You guys tune in this Friday.
What a head of hair on that dude, by the way, too. Like Jeff Jarrett.
Jesus Christ, guys, rocking and rolling
on him.
I hope he brings back the white stripes again one more time, just for
one more time, Brandon.
One more time, baby. But great fun match, and so much good shit going on. I really enjoyed the shit out of it. We had the Sex Gods and Suzuki versus what's it called? Action Andrade, AR Fox, Darius Martin. Great. Just a quick run through on this match. Great shit. Very fun. Loved it. I love seeing Suzuki on AEW TV.
Love it.
Yeah, it's so good. Black Towel. Fucking fuck me up. Show me what's up, dude. Slap the shit out of me. I'm here for it. I thought it was great. Really fun match, though. Obviously, we got the Lion Heart the Lion Tamer from Chris Jericho on Darius Martin, and if you can't break a leg with one Martin, you have to do it with the other. Let's go.
Dude, I enjoyed the chaos of the 6-man match, and I think this is a good way to introduce people. I mean, last time we saw Minoru Suzuki was, I think, Forbidden Door last year. It's been a bit. He's been floating through New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was a featured spot 2 Octobers ago with that awesome match in Rampage against Bryan Danielson. I think some of the AEW audience is familiar with him, but this was a nice way of reintroducing him. I thought this was fun. I like the crowd. You know, Kaza ni Nare is probably one of the best themes that is not part of the American landscape. The fans knew the words to it. Also, the Chicago fans, very intelligent as far as wrestling goes, so they knew what to do. Everyone got their shit in, and I also like how they gave more of a nod to the Andretti and Chris Jericho feud, where Andretti's been on Ring of Honor, and he's been filling in for Dante Martin. You referenced the ankle injury. He's been filling in for the Top Flight guys.
No hate.
Of course. But I think they've been doing a good job of Andretti keeping some momentum. It's so easy. You have that win, and what else do you do with the guy? They've kept him in the trios division. He's been kind of climbing up the ranks, trying to challenge the Embassy for the championship belts, but they're keeping him at the very least getting experience in the ring. And AR Fox, I mean, shout out to Young Anthony in the chat. I believe the same thing. AR Fox should be on our screens every week, and we may be getting that with Dynamite and Collision having separate roster, at least 2 extra hours. AR Fox, to me, every time he wrestles, I always think this guy could be the top guy of any promotion. He looks great. Yeah. He can move great. He's fantastic. So I love AR Fox. And I was saying on the ROH show for Honor Society, I was saying put AR Fox in a program with Claudio for the ROH title.
100%.
I think he has a spot, to me, whether it be international, TNT, something like that, to be on Dynamite every single week. There's no
Yeah,
reason he
no.
couldn't pick.
Every time AR Fox comes out, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And by the time the match is over, I'm like, God damn, I love him. And that's the thing. He's there. He's ready to establish his name. He just needs more time, I think, and away from other people. I think if we put AR Fox in a program by himself, like you just said, I think it would be milestones, huge, bigger, be great. Next up, we go into Adam Cole, MJF as a tag team together in the blind fucking tag tournament, whatever they got going on. But the bigger story out of that, surprisingly, is MJF accepts Tanahashi's call out, man. What do you think about that? Listen, we're both New Japan guys. We get the Tanahashi vibe. Not a lot of people do. But I mean, this is a big match. MJF versus Tanahashi, huge for a paper for any show, let alone Forbidden Door. I'm fucking stoked for this, dude.
Yeah, from one ace to another. I really appreciate Tanahashi's work, and 46 years old, still going out there and working at a top level. Tanahashi got a title shot last year against Jon Moxley in that mess of a title picture following CM Punk's injury, and they put the interim title on Moxley. I was of the mindset that you probably would have benefited from having Tanahashi take that championship belt to kind of hold it steady for a second, and he'd be included in the lineage, but they didn't do that. And of course, they won't do it this year. This is just another spot with no political ramifications with New Japan Pro Wrestling that he's going to be able to take the pin cleanly or be tapped out. It doesn't matter at this point. Tanahashi's at the point where he doesn't need to win. He's putting guys over. The way they got there, though, of course, we want to touch on the Battle Bowl, the Lethal Lottery from WCW. You and I covered in 1996. Yeah. Having this drawing of strange bedfellows and tag partners. And ultimately, they didn't say this, but the way it works out is you have this 8-team mix of teams working together, and the winners all get into a battle royal together. And the winner of that battle royal gets a title shot at the end of the night. Don't know if they're going that route, but it certainly seems like Adam Cole and MJF are going to be going further in this Battle Bowl, if not the complete winners of this whole thing. They are the first team announced here when they did that drawing. How do you feel about Battle Bowl? I mean, it is a nostalgia thing, but if you remember back in the day, people hated Battle Bowl. They thought it was ridiculous because it made, not that it made a mockery of tag team wrestling, but for a tag division that is already, well established, you have natural tag teams to put sort of emphasis on teams that aren't natural. I don't know. What do you feel
especially
about
with the depth of AEW's roster and the teams they already have established? This is a little silly to break up some people, put them with new people, see how it goes. But it also might lead to some fun, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm not against to see the fuckery of booking going on. Is it weird? A little bit, yeah. Adam Cole, MJF going to challenge FTR for the titles. Where are we going with that? You know what I mean?
It was an overused trope on build up to back in the day. I remember Shawn Michaels and John Cena teamed together on the road to WrestleMania 22 when they wrestled each other. 23, I should say. 22 is Triple H, but they do, and they probably did the same thing with Triple H and Cena on the build to that one because it's an easy way to get people to feud together. And this is a good way to extend Cole and Max going into whether it's All In or elsewhere. They're going to go to the point where they have to extend this and put them on the back burner, but keep it simmering at this point. Yeah. I thought, to me, the promo, MJF is great all the time, but the real rub here for me is following that almost win against MJF. The crowd was behind Adam Cole, and he felt different to me. And I don't know, maybe that's just me looking at it through rose-colored glasses, but Adam Cole felt different. He felt more comfortable in the ring as far as promo goes. He felt like he was on the same level as MJF, and I think we're getting to the point where he may be the guy to take the title off of MJF, and it kind of has to. If you put him back into a match with him, I don't think he would fare well losing.
Especially he can't suffer another loss, man.
If you wanted to be that guy that you brought in on the same level, same platform as Bryan Danielson, all the way back at All Out 2022, you have to do this. Unless she's not the guy, and that's a decision I have to make pretty soon.
I so agree with you on Adam Cole hasn't really hit his potential here in AEW. They brought him in. It's been lackluster. Not by his doing, obviously, because he's a phenomenal in-ring worker. We see him work on NXT. We see him do all this shit. But I feel like this MJF feud is his best work here in AEW since he's joined. He hasn't been doing much. I mean, bring back the Undisputed Era, whatever they want. But I felt like that took away from him. I want to see Adam Cole as the top guy, not Adam Cole as the trios guy. You know what I mean? Like, Adam Cole's got it. We already seen he's got it in AEW or in WWE and with NXT. bringing him in here, especially so hot after he came off of his run in NXT, it was throwing a damn towel on the fire. You know what I mean? It really set him down, and then he got injured, and he's been gone for so long. I want the best out of Adam Cole, but I also want Adam Cole doing his own thing. I feel like we're getting there, but like throwing him in a program of Max, good storytelling mechanism, but not as a fan where I want to see Adam Cole coming out of this big injury that everybody thought like it was so detrimental. And listen, it probably was. Guys got a lot going on. Fucking head trauma is nothing to play with, but still very, very interesting to see how they're playing this little field out. But they do have Forbidden Door to lean off of still. That's this weekend. It's not like it's the whole summer and we're going into All Out. We still have Forbidden Door. We got All In. We got a lot of shit in between. So I'm okay with them testing the waters on how it's going.
You know, I'm an imagery guy, so I want to set the stage if everybody closes their eyes for a second. I want you to picture this summer, Tony Khan's wearing the white chef jacket, the big exaggerated French chef hat, and picture the summer is all the booking. He's covered a kitchen. There's all these burners. He's got things cooking up elsewhere. It has to be done perfectly, especially where there's a lot on the line. You got Adam Cole and MJF simmering. You got stuff that's on the docket for potentially the Elite versus CM Punk and FTR. You also got All In build. You also got All Out build. You have stuff going down. All these other shows, maybe got Battle of the Belts happen. Not to mention Ring of Honor's cooking. I'm not sure what he has on that. After that. As is with cooking a meal and preparing food, everything has to be done. You don't want anything to burn. You don't want anything to be undercooked. So give him a lot of credit. He's the one-stop shop. He would probably benefit from a sous chef, someone being in there with him, trying to flip the meat, make sure it's not 10. Maybe that would be Bryan Danielson. Maybe that would be Dax Harwood. But before we move on from this segment, I want to just go back to the post-match with the Sting and Jericho thing. I think that's important.
Oh, of course. Yes. Completely missed over that. That's huge.
Just in general, just having them there. And it feels like everything Chad said about he was the one that kind of booked this a while ago. There's going to be Jericho versus Sting in Wembley. And if they're not going to go the route what I was saying with the MJF and Sting retirement match, Jericho and Sting is something that could hold a lot of weight and a lot of water for me for a fan. As far as old school goes, I think it could be a spectacle. Jericho throwing some barbs Sting's way, calling him a whore. They're holding out who's going to be their partner, Sting and Darby, that is, for the match against Lei Suzuki Sex Gods, as they're calling themselves, which is Minoru Suzuki, Sammy Guevara, and Chris Jericho. Good way to get people, little tease for Collision, get people tuned in on Saturday, which is a nice mechanism. The crowd was deflated, but they got themselves back up. What did you think about Sting and Jericho face to face again? Seems like they're planting seeds. They have to be at this point. Usually when you plant that, it's not going to be watered, right?
I thought it was very weird that Jericho was like, it's never going to happen. I don't want to work with Sting on Twitter when somebody pointed it out. They're like, oh, Jericho and Sting haven't been in a ring together and blah, blah, blah. So then the week later, unexpectedly, because Jericho does that, he calls out Sting. They have the face off. It's great shit. Going into this week, I think it has to be at Wembley, right? Like Sting's got to buck the fuck up and do a singles match for once here in AEW. Like, not that he hasn't, but give it. I want Sting versus Undertaker performance here in Sting versus Jericho, because I think that's the closest we're ever going to get to that.
It's a dream match for sure, and it's weird to me that they have never touched.
So
I actually went as soon as they said that, I went to Cage Match. I'm like, they had to have linked up sometime in WCW. Like, even his time in WWE, they were both on the roster at some point. To think they weren't on the opposite side of tag matches. I know that his run in WWE was short-lived, but
yeah,
crazy. They've been in the business for 30 plus years. Neither one of them have kind of crossroads, and I think you have to do this dream match. And I think
I'm here for it.
Again, there's so many stages at this point. You could do All Out. You could do All In. There's pay-per-views upon pay-per-views to do this. You can even hold off, and you want to pull the trigger eventually, especially if they're building it now. So it's either the one, it's either Labor Day weekend or it's going to be at the end of August. So
yeah,
kind of strap in.
No,
and watch
but
it.
Listen, like I said, this is the biggest thing we'll ever get to Sting versus Undertaker. I don't think Seth Rollins and Sting left that vibe in our mouth. We're like, okay, Sting can retire. We're okay with it. You know what I mean? Like it was a hard to watch match and a really shitty way to go out. Obviously, AEW has handled Sting's career much more diligently going on. I mean, with him pairing with Darby has been phenomenal. All going all the way back to the, the fucking brawl they had where they were throwing each other through windows in the warehouse and shit. Yeah, absolutely amazing shit. But like, I think this is the you could do this in-house in a ring in front of thousands and thousands of fans and make it one of the probably most meaningful matches for both guys. Nobody else on the roster could do that. Even MJF. I love your MJF proposal of MJF retiring Sting and being like, I'm the fucking guy, fuck you, like great shit. I'm here for that. I wish it would happen, but this is a very breathable experience for us to say, oh shit, both guys went out on top. And I'm not saying Jericho's retiring, I'm not saying Sting's retiring during this match, but this will be the top of the pyramid for both of them before they start both going downhill into their own retrospective career endings.
Yeah, you have to pull the trigger while you can. You're absolutely right. And I think for them, Tony Khan, AEW have created the blueprint on how to book legends that are limited in the ring, because I love Sting and all that, but they've had to use smoke and mirrors to keep him strong and highlighted, and they've done that every step of the way, whether it's party matches or highlighting him with signature moves or using him for a segment. They've done a great
New
job.
Jack spots, like fucking let's go.
And I think for me, for this match with Jericho, I think we've seen Sting have matches all throughout this run throughout AEW that have been done masterfully. And I think Chris Jericho could do enough in this match to kind of guide the way and sell his ass off for Sting and make him look good on one final run. And not to mention the crowd, it will pop for everything. And we've seen guys that are more limited in the ring with a hot crowd behind them going the distance and having them react. So
yeah, we've watched our fair share of Rock and Roll Express matches and fucking GCW. Yeah. Listen, this thing could go for 30 minutes with Jericho.
I just think too, looking at just the Sting Jericho possibility, is one of those matches that I didn't realize that I wanted it, and I think the build, if done right, it could feel right. And if Jericho is going to throw all of it in, he's going to find a way to reinvent himself on this build to it as well. Icon versus icon. I think they could really build it up and make it, I wouldn't say on the level of Rock Hogan, WrestleMania 18, but it could be their version of, like, we always talk about this. WWE has the benefit of having 45 plus years of history that AEW doesn't have. They're 4 years old, but they can benefit from having the history of Jericho, the history of Sting brought to a huge stage and put them in front of each other. I think it has weight. I like my MJF idea better, but I would, I'd be behind a Jericho Sting program that, because Sting and Jericho would do it right. It wouldn't be done half-assed. Talk about the symbolism of cooking. This would be done just right. They would give it the time and love it deserves.
Yeah, no, 100,000% agree with you. I love the idea of, listen, it doesn't need to be their last dance by any means, but make it the most important last part of the dance. Give them the plie here to fucking go on and do the finish of both of their careers. Because listen, Jericho is no spring chicken. I'm sure he's not going to be wrestling until he's in his 60s. He's coming not towards an end, but he's getting there. Guy's a fucking genius. RVD was singing Jericho's praises with AEW all week this week, saying how good of a talent he is, how amazing it is. But like, I think Jericho and Sting is the closest thing we'll get to Taker Sting, to, a match of that hype,
that level match in AEW.
Yeah, and ever. And I mean, the fucking for the longest time until they take Hogan's graces back into it. But enough about Sting, enough about Jericho, enough about Darby Allin. Let's get to the good stuff. Chris Statlander, Ty Valkyrie, quick match, great shit. Happy Chris still's got the belt. She deserves it. I was happy she won the belt at the pay-per-view. I didn't really get to talk about that much, but good shit. And good match between both girls. I really thought it was fun. But the aftermath is where the good shit happened, because we had Eddie Kingston come out talking about who this, bringing in fucking Ishii to tag with the Elite. And what a odd pairing, first off, of Matt Nick, fucking Eddie Kingston. Like, why? We don't need it. Do we need it? I don't know. But I feel like it does trend. It builds that bridge to, collisions at Kingston's, like, kind of like the screwball. Maybe there's more to it. I don't know. But Moxley comes out, fucking talking shit to Eddie. It was great stuff. And then, they're all spat. We got some bullshit going on, but Bryan Danielson's out there. Okada comes out. The Rainmaker versus the Dragon this Sunday. Huge, good shit, man. I'm so fucking bummed for that match. Really am. Love the promo. If you're gonna make the rain happen, I'm taking you to the fucking desert. Chills all day long, man. So excited for it.
I love it too, but I wanted to go back to the Owen Hart announcement, and we had the
please
Shibata and stuff too.
You're rocking and rolling. You got the graphic. You're going.
So we do have the Owen Hart tournament announced, second annual. So the men's side of things, Adam Cole, the reigning champion, he's not included on this side, but we do have CM Punk versus Kojima, Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe. We also have Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dustin Rhodes, Juice Robinson, Ricky Starks, and on the women's side, we also have them. Obviously, Britt Baker is going to be. I have two of the women. I have two of the same men's graphics here, so
it's
don't have the women in front of me. I have the matches in front of me, but so the thing is too here. A couple of things got announced in the tournament by accident. CM Punk's gonna have a match, and it's not with Kenta as we had been rumored to have. Satoshi Kojima, 52-year-old at this point. I think he's 52 years old. Let me look at the age right here. I have it open. 52 years old. He was deemed retired in 2002, came back in 2010. So clearly in there to have CM Punk on the card. A guy who's been in MLW, All Japan. He's New Japan Pro Wrestling. So CM Punk is clearly going to go over here. It's going to be a good match. First round match for a Owen Hart tournament to give it some justification. And then we have them scattered all over the place. We got the June 29th Collision. We have some matches all together. Roger Strong, Samoa Joe, Dustin Rhodes, Powerhouse, as I mentioned, Ricky Starks, Juice Robinson. And on the women's side, I do have the match in front of me, not the graphic, but I'll let you guys know who's in it. Athena versus Billy Starks at the 0 Hour Forbidden Door, so that'll be happening Sunday as well. Anna Jay versus Sky Blue on Rampage this Friday, so being taped as we speak. Nyla Rose versus Willow Nightingale on Collision. And next one is going to be Ruby Soho versus the reigning champion right now for the Owen Hart on the women's side, Britt Baker. So looking at the early favorites here, Mike, if we're taking a look at who do you have coming out of here? I mean, at this point on the women's side, there's a couple of winners I look in here. I like how they've been booking Sky Blue. I would say Willow Nightingale's been booked very, very strong going into, by accident with the Mercedes Moné stuff. But then also, you can also go with someone like Britt Baker. Maybe they have her go two years in a row. It's very interesting on both sides.
I would absolutely not mind seeing Britt go, 2 years in a row. I think it would be good. But obviously, we're not going to get Adam Cole in this Collision because we got all these beautiful names. I would love to see Punk and Joe come to a head here, and again, maybe we get Punk versus Ricky Starks, or maybe even Dustin Rhodes. I mean, we've seen Punk and Dustin Rhodes go together on a Rampage before, but I think it would be cool to see them do one more time back to back, or even Ricky Starks versus Joe. I mean, come on, like Starks is a star. I wouldn't mind seeing Starks take the whole tournament. I think he's awesome. My favorable in there. Yeah, I think he needs it. He deserves it. Warm welcome, especially with him being in such a prominent role going into Forbidden Door, going into the next couple shows. I'm fucking here for it, man. I love it. But Britt's my number one going into that. I mean, I would love to see Sky Blue or Willow Nightingale go into it, but you can't take the thunder off of Britt. She's been kind of on the sidelines all year because of her injuries and shit. In this feud with the Outcast, I would love to see Britt retain.
So looking at the first round, I mean, we're just sitting here making picks. I think Punk clearly going over Kojima. Samoa Joe clearly going over Roderick. Powerhouse clearly going over Dustin. And then I think Ricky Starks goes over Juice, which means the final four would be Punk, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks.
Great history there.
What was that?
It's a great history there. You got Team FTR versus each other. You got Punk and Joe versus each other. I've signed me the fuck up, man.
So something built up there. I think Ricky Starks probably gets through the finals and probably takes on Samoa. Let's pull this up one more time so I can see how it's laid out. So we'd have, it looks like probably we could potentially have Ricky Starks coming out of that side and then taking on, Punk and Joe is going to have to face in the semifinals. Like they're going to have to. Which you can't. I wouldn't be
that
they did that. It would have been cool for Roderick the finals
Strong
to do that.
And Punk either. But I would love to see a singles match between Punk and Joe. Oh, my God, give it to me. That would be so good.
Well, we're definitely going to get it because if you look at this, like, there's no way Kojima's beating Punk, and there's no way Roddy's beating Samoa Joe, who hasn't been beaten since the Wardlow match.
Truth.
So we're guaranteed to get that match at this point. So I would say, man, it's a possibility, especially with how, I can go on all day about Punk and, loving Bret Hart and all that. Maybe it's potential that he wants to pay tribute to Bret by honoring his brother in this tournament and going through and having,
I would love that.
It could be
back
possibly
the pink and black, the trunks that he used to wear when in WWE would be really cool. I'm fucking here for it, man. It would be really cool to see Punk give the rub to Ricky Starks.
It would be amazing if Ricky got the win. He needs so desperately to get out of this
he's been so ahead, but still stuck in this I'm losing pattern that this would be the perfect place for him to go over, get the celebration, give him the fucking confetti that Tony Khan loves. Put on the pilgrim hat, Tony. Come on out and grace your Ricky Starks as your bro.
So also on the women's side, I mean, looking at the team, the tandems of women there, I think Willow Nightingale should come out. If I was fantasy booking myself, I think Athena goes over Billy Starks. Sky Blue probably goes over Anna. I would say Willow should go over Nyla, and then Ruby and Britt Baker's kind of a toss up to me, especially with the Outcast situation.
Yeah.
And then I would probably go Britt as far as knee jerk reaction, but then you get Willow versus Britt in the semifinals. I think that could have some weight to it. I don't know. I mean, the thing is too with Willow, she wasn't supposed to win the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, but she did.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to capitalize on it because she's clearly ready to take the next step on the American side of things. And I think they have a built-in women's champion here.
I wouldn't be against like Willow and Anna Jay being in the finals. You know what I mean? Like that would be kind of cool throwback to history, which, Anna's in the tournament. Am I correct here? Nothing.
She is in the tournament. Yep,
so it would be cool to get them battling at the end because Anna's got a rich history in AEW, but she was also in that bad powerbomb spot off the stage with Willow. I think that would be cool. Throw them together. Do I think Willow needs the win because she's got the New Japan title? No. But do I think it would be good dynamic for both of them being the main for this? Absolutely. If you're going to swerve anybody, have it happen. I think that would be pretty cool.
I think the two women that could benefit most from this is Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale. Looking at everybody else is sort of cemented where they are. Athena doesn't need it. Ruby is already in the Outcast situation. So what does it really do for her? Britt won it last year. I think you could really take, because Sky Blue, we saw her on Dynamite last week. She's been killing it on
She's killing it, yeah.
I think this is a way.
A year from this week was her signing for AEW.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's huge. It's insane. So good for her. I want to see both of these young women fucking just climb up to the top and take over.
And the tournament feels a little bit more, I don't know. It feels like it has a little more emphasis this year. And I don't know if it's because it's the second year.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit more, I don't know, significant to me. And it's not going to end in a title shot.
It's the hat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about.
I don't know. It feels a little bit more emphasized, and maybe the fact that we have some really big names in this, and not that there weren't big names, but I feel like the names, the field is a little bit more. Like Punk being in the tournament is a big deal, and so is Joe.
Huge
it's
deal.
A big deal.
Well, why should CM Punk be in any tournament, let alone the Owen Hart tournament? So good for him. I'm excited for it. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be great regardless of the outcome. Sign me up. I'm fucking here for it. It's gonna be a good show. The 29th show is going to be amazing because we got all three of those matches built up. Fuck yeah, sign me up.
So before we preview the Forbidden Door card, I do want to touch upon the tag match here. Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia teaming up against Orange Cassidy and my boy Shibata, the current reigning defending ROH Pure Champion. This match was fun tag match. It was pretty much just like, all right, let's put the booking and the into the microwave, get things ready for Forbidden Door. At first, to me, I thought we'd be getting the two singles matches, but I was talking about this on Honor Society. I think they want to save the Pure Championship and potentially this New Japan TV Championship taking place in ROH, maybe a Death for Dishonor in Trenton, New Jersey. They need to fill up that card as well. So now it looks like we're going to be having this tag match going forward for Forbidden Door. And seeing Shibata in the ring never gets old. And him teaming with Orange Cassidy, really awesome to see. ZSJ on our screen too. That's another awesome thing that the Forbidden Door has given us, that he's on our TV and he's there weekly for the last couple of weeks. He's been on ROH. It's been awesome. And then Daniel Garcia, the leaps and bounds he's grown since what we saw him as a young Buffalo kid coming through, and he's been amazing. The presence in the ring, Garcia has been next level for me.
No, and the Jericho Appreciation Society being all over this card, and in terms of being all over the place, it's so cool. I think Daniel Garcia is kind of breaking off on his own here, which I love to see. I'm here for it. This was a great match, barn burner. It was fun. It was good shit. And listen, I'll never bat an eye at Zack Sabre Jr. being on my TV, and I should be a Shibata. I'm fucking here for it, man. It was good. It was good time. It was a fun match. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
So just to clarify, it's not a tag match going into Forbidden Door. It's for the International Championship, and it's a fatal four-way. It's Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr., Shibata, and Daniel Garcia all competing for Orange Cassidy's IN Championship, and
it's gonna be good.
Really awesome.
Yeah,
man, if Orange walks out of that still champ,
I'll be surprised. I feel like this is the time. This is the time to get rid of it, right?
You think they put the title on Garcia?
Maybe Garcia. Give it to Zack Sabre. I don't fucking like it. Whatever. Like, just throw it out there.
I know, but he's the TV champ in New Japan. Are we gonna have him do both?
Why not? He'll be he will be the television champion, the king of television. But no, listen. It's gonna be great no matter what. And Orange, I didn't expect Orange to walk into the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing. I was astonished that they still kept it with him. I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful performance. Sign me up. I'm fucking here for.
I'm still saying Orange is going to come out victorious. It is a tough sell to me.
I hope he's the longest reigning AEW champion ever.
Yeah, but that's a fun match, man. That just got cooked up really quick in the microwave. You know, pizza in the microwave is still pizza in the microwave. It's still pizza.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's Little Caesars. It's $5 and ready, you know.
So the other matches we have here, we have a 6-man tag match. We mentioned Lei Sex Gods, or Lei Minoru Suzuki Sex Gods. It's Jericho Guevara and Minoru Suzuki versus Sting Darby and a mystery partner. On your end, any inkling about who it potentially could be? Should we get our hopes up thinking it would be someone different, or
I don't know. I was trying to brainstorm, but I'm not, 100% into it. I'm excited to see where it goes. That's it. That's my love for it. Like, sign me up, show me some good shit.
And we'll find out on Saturday for sure. So it should be interesting. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be probably a veteran type of guy. That's my guess.
To be. Who? I don't know. Maybe Paul White. He hasn't been on fucking TV
I would love it to be Naito, because I think Naito needs to be on this card, but I don't know how Naito fits in with Sting and Darby, but I digress. Yeah. But we also have this other banger match here, which is Jon Moxley, Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and Takeshita. And also, by the way, Shota Umino taking on Hangman, Adam Page, the Young Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Ishii, as we mentioned before.
So wild, man. What a fucking wild team up. But I loved Eddie tonight. I loved Eddie being like, "Fuck you, Mox. I don't care. I get paid to do what I do. I'm gonna do what I do." Like, I love it. And part of me thought his Twitter promos were going towards Punk, but then he turned it into this. Like, the boss pays me to come up and do what I want. He's the Joey Diaz of AEW. He's so fucking amazing. Listen, motherfucker, I'm coming in hot. I'm gonna fuck your mother. We're gonna do good shit. I love it.
Shout out to that Terry Funk shirt he's wearing too. Hopefully Stash Pages remakes that. It was a great shirt.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. But I love Eddie so much. Like, Eddie is probably one of my favorite talents that's came out of the AEW bubble. And I know he's been all across the Indies and shit, but like, he's been shining here so hard. And every time he comes up on TV, like, it's must see. You can't miss an Eddie Kingston promo. So I'm fucking here for it, man. And we got Okada and fucking Bryan Danielson, dude. This is gonna be so wild. The promo hype for it. That one teaser that came out a few weeks ago, where it was just Danielson in the desert, like, you bring the rain, you're walking in the fuck. Oh my God, he signed me up, man. And this is gonna be just as big as like a Marty Scurll versus Okada thing, because I thought that was a really good match.
Oh, big, way bigger. I feel like this is one of the biggest matches we're gonna see in AEW canon for a very long time. This is dream match level stuff.
Yeah, this is like Kenny versus AJ, and AEW versus WWE type shit. You know what I mean? Like, you have to go that route. This is gonna be huge, man. I mean, I'm so fucking stoked.
Yeah, with Danielson and Okada, my perspective with Danielson, everything we're doing here is house money, because he was out because he had a career-ending injury, and the fact that he's back, and if you look at where things were before he left, he was in WWE and they were doing things with them, and I liked the final run he had prior. was the IC champion. That was fun too.
Yeah.
But then when he came back, he had that great run as WWE champion and then left. And then this, to me, this is all gravy, baby. Like Danielson versus Okada is stuff that we didn't think we are going to see. And every match we
it's
have
Sting versus Jericho, man. Like it's that important. It's fucking huge.
And to me, Okada felt so, and I understand Chicago crowd, they're a smart wrestling fandom and IWC heavy there. Okada, when that coin dropped, man, they popped accordingly. Huge pop. Gave me chills to see him across the ring. And again, I've been following both these guys' career for a very long time. And Okada to me resonates to a point where there's not many other stars you can put on the other side of Bryan Danielson where you're going to be like, I'm not sure how it's going to end. I feel these guys are on equal playing fields, but Okada is an international star that being featured in AEW for 2 years in a row now on Forbidden Door, it's huge. And I would like to see him have a long form program here in the States. Like let him just have like a 2-month excursion here, just hang out here, do some matches and meaningful programs. And maybe even give him a title run like that. Everyone's gonna be blown away with this match. I have full hope that this match is going to be between Omega and Ospreay, and then Danielson and Okada. We're gonna get 2 matches of the year on this damn card. And as Anthony said so beautifully before, it is a 2-match card, but I don't know if any other card is anchored by 2 matches that are better ever. Like
it's like boxing. You don't care about the undercard. You don't give a fuck about the middleweights or the light heavyweights. You're here for the main event, man. You're here for Typhon and Alton, baby. You're not here for fucking the bullshit. But I think Okada is the second biggest wrestler next to John Cena. And I mean that across wrestling, all across the board. We could talk shit against anybody. Okada's bigger than nobody's taken over another country, another continent like John Cena, like Okada has. I think Okada's a money fucking wrestler, probably one of the best in the world. And I'm so excited for this match. I think this is just as big as, Kevin Owens versus Cena when Kevin Owens got called up to the main roster. This is a big fucking match. And I'm huge for it, man.
Looking at the rest of the card, as we mentioned before, the first round of the Owen Hart tournament match, CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima, which is again going to be a showcase for Punk here. Kojima being on the stage, many fans being introduced.
What if Kojima goes over? Kojima versus Joe. Fucking give me zero
chance. I will retire from podcasting forever.
Yeah.
Zero chance it happens. But
I love it.
It's going to be a good match. Hopefully they work that strong style. Kojima is a veteran in the ring, and of course Punk veteran as well. So hopefully we get a smart,
we know
very
for
efficient
sure
match.
If Kojima slaps Punk in the face, that we're going to get an ESPN article 10 years from now.
Kojima is not here for any of that shit. He's just like, I'm running there, I'm getting a paycheck.
Give me my money,
happy to be here in Toronto. But we also have, speaking of Toronto and Canadians, Toni Storm defending her AEW's Women's Championship against the current reigning New Japan Strong Women's Champion Willow Nightingale, as we mentioned before. This will be interesting to book. I think we're going to have Outcast Dilemma getting involved because Willow needs to be looked strong, especially going. It's not title for title.
Coming off of fucking Sasha. I mean, come on. You can't do that to Willow and the whole New Japan. Like, you can't book it like that. You have to make Willow look a bit like great, man. Like, absolutely.
She's going to lose in a hard lug fashion. There's going to be some shenanigans and she's losing, but think she's going to look strong, and I still believe she has a really good shot of winning the women's side of the Owen Hart tournament, and I think that'd be beneficial for everybody.
I'm here for it, but like it's going to be
nice. What is that?
This atmosphere spray for my toys, so it works.
Oh, nice.
It makes the picture, but yeah, we're Outcast and shit here.
Fantastic. But also, speaking of matches that we already know the ending here, Sonata defending his IWGP Championship against Jungle Jack Perry.
This could be good.
Yeah, this match is gonna be good. I think work rate wise, it should be fun. Jack Perry having the opportunity for 2 pay-per-views in a row to have a main event, quote unquote, because this is not ending the show in a title match. Wonder how this is gonna go. Sonata's been really stepping his game up now that he's become IWGP champion. That's
a huge deal for Jungle Boy, man.
It is for sure.
It really is, and I think it's getting overlooked by the rest of the card. But this is gonna be a good match and a huge moment. But maybe we'll get some fuckery from Luchasaurus and Christian. Hopefully not. I'd fucking pray to God we don't.
Yeah, I see Sonata winning this match, but I think Jack Perry is they're gonna have to try to keep him on the same level. We talked about keeping things simmering, keeping things hot. He's another person doing that. You want him to feel like he's a bigger star going into every event you go into, and
Yeah.
They did an okay job of getting each of the pillars feeling like they're bigger, some bigger than other. I think they did probably the best job with Sammy Guevara building up, but everybody's still sort of they pale in comparison to MJF. So this is an opportunity for him to be on the same level as the current IWGP World Champion, a title that
100%.
is, you know, it's on level of the AW Championship. And although Sonata is not everybody's preferred champion, it doesn't feel like it's the same level it was last year when we had the Fatal 4 where Adam Cole unfortunately got hurt in. The title doesn't feel like as important in the American fan eye, but Sonata is a guy who's been pretty dominant on their side, and they put a lot of stake behind him, and they're trying to rebuild the image of what New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to be in the future. Now that Jay White's gone, they're trying to find their footing, and Sonata's a guy they put a lot of importance in. So the fact that Gato and Tony Khan said, let's put Jack Perry in the ring with him, like you said, it's a big deal for Jack.
Yeah, no, huge. Absolutely love it. I'm pumped. I think the whole card is going to be amazing, man. I really do. I think this is going to be one of the best the offset pay-per-views that we've had in a long time. I mean, Forbidden Door last year was great, but throwing Okada in a tag match was like, is it really like a big deal? But I think we got a really nice setup this year, and very underrated, very underestimated. I think it's going to deliver hard. And if you guys haven't fucking bought the goddamn pay-per-view, make sure you go and do that, because I guarantee you're going to be in for a good time.
So we also have the AW World Championship on the line. MJF begrudgingly accepted Hiroshi Tanahashi's challenge for the championship. And again, as we mentioned before, quite clear, Tanahashi's not walking out of Toronto with this championship belt, but I think he's going to go out there and make MJF look like $1 million. Tanahashi will put all his body in there. I still don't know how Tanahashi's going to be working G1 in a month from now. 46 years old with a lot of injuries and a lot of bumps on that bump card.
Crazy.
But Tanahashi goes out there and he's a show stealer. So when he wants to wear, and the crowd's going to be behind him, and they're gonna boo MJF. But at the end of the day, Tanahashi's not walking away with the AEW World Title. All I can ask for them is to give me near falls that make me believe in the moment. Just I want to feel in the moment, suspending belief for just for a second. I want 2.83 as far as the 3 times. Get me this close. But MJF, the right decision, and clearly the decision they're going to make is he walks out still champion and continuing the reign of terror.
Are you expecting any fuckery from CM Punk during this match?
I am not. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just not.
I mean, he brought out the bag saying, you got to pin me to win this. MJF's the champ. There's got to be some hostility in between them. Maybe this is where they started.
Maybe after the match, I think MJF goes over pretty not clean in MJF's world. It's not going to be, he hits him with without.
Oh no, I don't see.
He's gonna
I don't
do
see
something.
MJF doing anything. But I think Punk will either intervene or come out at the end of it, teasing maybe the next pay-per-view.
Depends on what they're going with. If they decide to go, they want Punk MJF at All In.
Yeah,
and they're not doing the Elite versus CM Punk and FTR match. Maybe they go right to it, but they also he never really showed what was in the bag. We clearly know it's the championship. You got to pin me for it. They can heat that up whenever they want.
Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
They gave him on Twitter.
So tonight we're gonna have a little conversation.
he wants that Blackhawks championship. The bird is the word, and he's going to take him down.
Before we get to some of the comments here, we have Kenny Omega defending the IWGP US Championship against Will Ospreay. Match is going to be awesome. I guess everyone's unanimous opinion is that as of right now, the match of the year is the Wrestle Kingdom match that they had early in January. And I think they may just run this back at Wembley. I think they're going to do that.
Sign me up. Yeah.
We're going to get Will Ospreay getting his win back here. And maybe they do the third and final match in front of 80K at Wembley. Why not?
It would only be fitting. I honestly think. I think it would be great, and especially for Ospreay. Give him the fucking rub. Let him do his thing out in Wembley, and that's huge. What a gift from Tony Khan. Tony loves. Let's
go through some of the comments here. Old fat guy BMX in the house. Go back.
Spray some more oddity spray. Hold on. It smells like the oddities in here.
You guys missed Shot Nostalgia. We talk about oddity spray. So they talk about that they spray things in the arena to make it smell like sewage because they want to act like they didn't shower. That's a true fact that was being said. Good evening, Austin. We love you as well, my friend. Thanks for joining us. And then Anthony had a good idea about doing Punk and Joe in the semifinals to throw everything on its head in a tournament, doing a time limit draw, which maybe that will be. You want to talk about giving a love letter to their other matches, going the limit. Would be something that'd be interesting. We also have him saying Punk winning the tournament. I think that's probably the favorite at this point.
It could happen.
And then Danielson Okada main eventing. I would say it has to.
How can you not? No, absolutely. What are you going to throw the Elite and fucking Eddie Kingston and the rest of the crew versus everybody? No, you got to do Danielson and Okada.
Well, I think possibly what you don't want to do is put one championship over each other. So
yeah,
you don't want the AEW title to feel. And again, this is getting in the room, and this is what goes in the super shows. You and I talk about this on Shot Nostalgia all the time. Is when you get in the room and it's tricky to figure out a way to do it. And we talk about on Wrestling Tonight all together now. All the Japanese companies got together. New Japan, All Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah got together, and they figured out a way to make it work. I think it's important for the optics of the championship can't feel like it's lesser than. So if you main event with one or the other, I think, and especially then you main event with the US title, you can't do that either because you don't want to feel like it's above. So biggest match, best match on the card to me, Danielson Okada, and it's the safest thing to have main event.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't think it'll take away from being up in the main event because I think it's such a dream match. People are going to be so happy to see it. I'm fucking pumped to see it. I can't wait until Sunday. Let's fucking go.
So we got My Love is Punk in here asking about Luther and Kota Ibushi.
You got hate for Luther?
Lifetime, my friend. So is Luther still employed by AEW?
Man. Yeah, he's still doing
I want Kota Ibushi
dark.
Here, but it's not against Luther, my friend.
No, Luther's doing dark.
With the SAP,
right?
They're
not making dark anymore. It's Luther and Serpentico are the headliners of every single dark taping that's not happening anymore. I love Luther.
A lot of content for everybody.
Very much so. Ace, anything you want to say to the people before we head out of here? It's been such a pleasure to have you back on the wrap up. I mean, we haven't been this in depth in a long time, but I'm fucking pumped for Forbidden Door. I'm pumped for Collision this Saturday. I'm pumped for Rampage even. I mean, it's been a wild week, but put yourself over. Get all your shit out there. Don't be this guy. Put your shit out there, sir.
He looks so young there, doesn't he?
He's so young. He's aged like 30 years since he started a wrestling company.
Oh my. So you guys can follow me at Acefield Retro on Instagram. Make sure you guys check out Remarkable Wrestling's next show, Space is the Place, July 8th, Deer Park, New York. Pick up your tickets, remarkablewrestling.com. Follow at Remarkable_Wrestling for your latest updates. We have a show September 16th taking place in that same arena, NYWC Sportatorium. We have the Motor City Machine Guns coming to town for Remarkable Wrestling Own the Night. So maybe Alex Shelley will still be Impact champion. Maybe Chris Sabin will still be X Division champion. So if that's the case, it will be awesome. Either way, I can't wait for them to be here. The September show is going to have more surprises. Maybe we have some other news for an August show. Not sure. Having some new Remarkable Wrestling cards coming out too. Just sent over the final designs for them for the second edition. So stay tuned for that if you want to pick them up again. RemarkableWrestling.com, or you can see me at a live show. I'll be at Victory Pro Wrestling. The next time I'll be there will be Battle in Bayshore. That's coming up in a few weeks. Of course, like I said, July 8th. You guys can also, message me. But, anywhere you find me, there's a wrestling show local. I'm probably there. Love and support independent wrestling. Keep up the good work as far as, doing all the things we do here at the Turnbuckle Tavern. And, also tomorrow, join us. Debut of Brace for Impact, myself and Colton, rebranding the ROH Honor Society show and keeping up all the stuff going. And yeah, we also have Shot Nostalgia on Friday. And Tyson, Mike will be there. Talk about Rock Bottom in your house, 1998. Buried Alive.
I worked out for it. It was a stamina contest, man. It was a hell of a show, though. Took the life out of us and took the life out of Austin and Undertaker. We'll go over it on Friday. So good, though.
So yeah, we have Shot Nostalgia coming up, and then we have one final episode, and then it's season 4. And man, we got the overlays made for it. It's going to be absolutely epic. Colton, myself, and you talking about Smoky Mountain Wrestling 1994. Man,
God damn it.
It's going to be a different show. It's going to be short, man. 7 weeks is going to fly by, and we have to figure out, you and I got to get in a room and figure out what the hell season 5, man. Because we have a few choices.
We're there. We're there. We're working on it. It's a tied race right now, but we'll figure it out, and we'll let you guys know as soon as we do. I can't wait. But guys, make sure you are following the Turnbuckle Tavern every place we go. Thank you, Ace, for hopping on. But you guys, you know where the drill. We're all over every social media platform. You want to buy merch, hit up Pro Wrestling Tees, hit up Spring Tees. You got all the fun stuff. But make sure you're calling the tavern. Let us know how you think the show goes. And you split out your stuff. Tell us your takes, what you think about Forbidden Door, what you think about everything. 304-404-2004. And we're on our way out, man. This is the end of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. Yeah, if you know what I mean, man. My main man Mean Gene over here. But yeah, but dudes, if you guys want to see more, we breaking news, we might be moving the wrap up to a different night in the weekends following Collision, following who knows. Yeah, we haven't figured out a date yet, but stay tuned to everything here, turnbuckletavern.com. We love you guys. Until next week,
Redeem these nuts.
and we will see you guys later. Peace out. Pro wrestling, all that fun stuff. We're out of here.